I'll keep hustling.
So guys, we had an amazing weekend. Bitcoin went to our buy zone. It's breaking out of this bearish trend that we were looking at, and all is well. So everybody buys on the idea that it's time to go moon. But before we go moon, there's a few things we need to talk. So I'm going to be the fly in the ointment today, so I apologize in advance. But if you want to know why it's important to do that, you want to be able to sell the next top, buy the next bottom with us, I think it's worthwhile you staying tuned and listening to the rest of this stream. It's all in the end for a real good reason. It's to prepare you for the massive gains that's going to be coming our way. You want to be in at the right timing. You want to be out at the right time to realize those profits. Bear markets are full of, and full of amazing success stories, all turned right back to nothing. So just remember that, my friends. We want to try and avoid that happening. Okay, so let's get into the stream. Before we do that, though, let's switch things around. Hello, Jaden. Yes, market's looking forgiving today, my friend. That's true. LTEC codes. Let's all make some money. I like that. Greetings from fellow moon people. Let's go from tragic, my English, tragic garlic. For some reason, the fact that garlic's in the second side, tragic becomes really hard to pronounce. I don't know what's the story there. Listen to Yuri. He says, hit the like, frenemies. And we're going to be having some fun here on the stream today. So let's get into the technicals. Your name. Hey, come on. Marie Claire's in the back there as well. She's going to be giving you some mindset magic. So hopefully we're going to touch on everything, and you're going to be leaving the stream a little wiser, a little smarter, and a little richer. Okay, let's go. My friends, so when we look at Bitcoin on the lateral range, we've done a lot to identify early enough the way that the market moves. And the reason why I've got this line is here is because it was drawn in months ago. And before I drew that in, I basically explained to everybody, and now I have got the wrong tweet idea loaded, but basically explained to everybody that the market is always rhyming. It's never the same. It's never going to ever be the same, but the rhythm to it's always going to be the same. Hence the fact that there's these emotional market cycles being identified as that. And this is our advantage, because if we know there's going to be a certain way that the market's going to react, I mean, if I would have drawn this thing perfectly, that line would have started there and stopped there. I mean, come on, we estimate these things. And that's why we have to look at these videos daily. So remember to come and join us daily. And if you're new, drop me a comment. I would love to say hi to you. Okay. Whether it's on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, I get to see all your comments. So that is the idea regarding this. And then as we were moving down, I explained to you guys that this buy zone's got a high success probability. It went against everything. Everybody was so bearish. We were sitting with fear and greed right back down there, and it's over and shit's going to hit the fan, and we were the only ones still bullish. Tokemetrics flipped bearish in due time when it was still enough, and I expect that they're going to be flipping bullish soon as well. Their algorithmic calculations. Bull bear grade is slightly moving over, and as you can see, no alt season just yet. So why the hell am I peddling alts to you guys today? I'm going to show you now why we think that. Okay, so that is just the thing about how sentiments work. Now, over the weekend, we had this big pump, and I explained to you guys last week, if we have a big pump, expect that there's going to be a CME gap that forms. So the CME gap formed. Now, is it going to fill this gap now? It's anybody's guess. It's almost to a point better if it does do this, because then the job is done. This thing can go to the moon and get done with. We can go and hit that highs. But if it doesn't and it wants to be choppy, that's okay with me as well to do this later. Either way, whether I'm bullish long-term or bearish long-term, price needs to go down to 62K. Which gives you, if you didn't buy the dip, and I saw your comment right as I logged on from Cam, said I didn't buy the dip. okay? So it gives you a second opportunity. Your risk is going to be slightly higher than those that bought right at the bottom, but that's okay because now you're buying a continuation of a trend. So that's what you're trying to do. So you can expect a higher success rate because we've now have a little bit more information backing up the buy than a box in the middle of the screen. Okay. Also, with a note is that from a trader point of view, I said this morning for everybody on the market tactics stream while we were there, I said this is a sell zone, considering that price is going to move back down. So there's a lot of confluence for a little bit of downwards pressure leading into the week. And the same then when we look at the liquidation maps, you can see that BTC is probably going to get a little bit of a short squeeze all the way down to 61,000 before we can potentially pump it back up to 67. So keep that in your mind as well, because take out the longs before we go sweep out the bears, because we don't want price to come right back. So you kind of want the longs to suffer first, because once we've taken out the bears and we're moving into the 69 zone, 67 zone, you want price to go. That's the dream here. We want to see price go. So hopefully the market's going to be kind and giving you that entry. We got really good entries on the alts, guys. So it's probably going to give us an opportunity to do just that. Okay. Now, one thing that I want to point out to you guys while we're on this big screen, and education alert, I'm going to teach you something that's probably going to change the way you're going to look at altcoins, influences, and the bull market completely. And it's this. I saw a lot of comments on this, when we, just before the market dumped, where because there was a bearish narrative, the idea for a Wyckoff distribution pattern made sense, meaning that price is going to go up, and it created all these range highs, be it distribution 1 or 2, where that sits there in the middle there, it's irrelevant. And then they were stating that, and I was looking at a few people saying, well, now we're in this phase E where we're now trending. We're not going to go bear market. We're not going to go 50. And my friends, simple as this. Fellow frenemies, stop looking at this type of shit. Please stop doing this. Reason why? Because when we look at our markets now, immediately, because there's a name, distribution schematic, the only way you see this is bearish. And because of that thing, you end up avoiding to buy any of the lows. Because if everything is bearish, why the fuck should I buy? Okay, I didn't sell at the right time. Why should I buy? And you end up missing the move. So what should you do? Well, know that there's distribution schematic ones where it looks like this, and distribution schematic twos where it looks like this. But the thing is, if you really study Wyckoff, you're going to find that a distribution schematic turns into a reaccumulation schematic when it moves on. Remember, Wyckoff is always backwards looking. So we're allowed to change the rules as we go on, which means it's not really something that you can use in the now. Meaning, let's try and explain this. It's me showing you a chart like this and saying, you see that 50% of the wick, you should have bought there. But I'm telling you that today. It doesn't help you. Luckily, I told you that last week when we were there. So you did have ample time to get in on that. But this is what Wyckoff distribution patterns do. They tell you what you should have done. So if you don't have a little bit of a technical background, you're never ever going to act at the appropriate time. You're always going to look backwards and say, I should have. Next time I will. But the key now is, and the big thing that I want to take away, and the way I want to basically take this whole big rant to, is that because you're new, because you're seasoned, because I don't care how much you know about Wyckoff, the reality is there's a failure rate to all these patterns, be it accumulation, be it distribution, whatever the case. And you can go and read up. There's so many Wyckoff books. You can go and buy them. Some of them are very cheap, some are very expensive. There's a lot of them. You can read up on all of them, but it all boils down to the next or the following thing. And it's very simple. Be bearish at the top of a lateral range. Be bullish at the bottom. This was Bitcoin at 74. This was Bitcoin at 60. Okay? The same was true when Bitcoin was at 30 and 25. Be bearish at the top. Be bullish at the bottom. And then once you've done that, You can go and tell anybody to screw themselves when they want to tell you it is a distribution this time, because it's Wyckoff logic. It's simple. We might have distributions that turn into reaccumulations and go on higher and then that's just part of the markup effect. It's so easy to trip yourself over something that looks so simple. I mean, if I were to tell you this is trading, so simple, you just need to follow this simple way of thinking. Why do you fall? Why do so many people trip over themselves? So that's the key here, my friends. So keep it simple. That's the idea I want to kind of bring through to where we are with what Bitcoin and the rest of the alts are doing. Okay, so interested in some of your alts, send me a comment. Let me know what you are holding or hodling and so forth. And while you guys are sending in those coins, a quick reminder, today's video brought to you by Prime XBT. It's going to pop up any second now. Open your own Prime account. I trade aggressively only on Prime XBT, and I managed to make a deal with them. So if you head over to the Discord, you can get a free trial to all my market tactics streams where we look for trades together, all my hodl reports where I show buy zones and sell zones for the investments, and I go through all the Bybit pairings, not necessarily just 5 or 6. I go through all of them. It's a long, almost you can say boring video, because if you're not interested in buying in anything, it's not worth your time. But if you really want to get in at the right opportune time, those videos are of great importance. And all you need to do, 3 simple steps. Open your Prime, use this link. Links in the video description as well. Deposit some trading capital, because you're going to be trading with me at least. And if you deposit $2,000 as a minimum, you can just go and claim your access. Simple as that. Send me your user ID, hit the claim button, and you're done. You're golden. And if all is approved, you'll be joining our crypto investing and crypto trading side pretty soon. Track records, everything is there. All the charts are posted as I trade, when I trade. So if I don't trade for the week, there's no charts. And you can actually enjoy the journey with me. Simple as that. Interesting comment. This morning I was saying to everybody, why the hell are you so quiet? And then I had a very honest response, because we bought alts 2 months ago, wrote them up, didn't bring ourselves to take profit, and rode them all the way down again at DC Crypto. And sometimes that happens. I myself also sometimes fall into that thing where, maybe there's a little bit more. And when we're going to look at the alts, this is the mindset you need to have in keeping of that and in keeping of buying. Never do something in a full measure when it comes to trading and investing. There's risk. There's no guarantees here. So if you buy a little bit and have cash on hand, so that if you're wrong, you can get a better deal without that wrecking yourself. And if you sell a little bit so that there's coins in hand, so that if you're wrong and it goes higher, you have even a better price. If you do that, you afford yourself the opportunity to do that without trying to move that. I need to have sold everything there and bought back everything there. You end up walking away a winner, because now you're playing the probabilities. Okay. Now let's see. Jockey says he's holding Solana, Phantom, Near, C8, and GRT. Jaden is holding Mentis DAO. Jaden is also holding Flux. Vitali, hello, buddy. Late but present. I always love having you on the stream, my friend. And here's a new name. I've never seen this, Mr. 333 or 337. And please excuse me for not being able to pronounce the rest of it. But hello to you as well, buddy. Thanks for joining in. Make sure to hit that subscribe. You're in the right place. Okay, so let's go to the alts that I wanted to share. I see Marxie saying she's got. Shit. I need to put on my glasses. Curve, AVAX, and dots. Sorry about that. Let's go through your coins and quickly see where we're at. So the first thing is for me today, and this is an important one, is the alt season, the path to alts. And what we know, though, is that as Bitcoin starts moving, money flows into Bitcoin. So Michael Saylor, news events, he's doing all the marketing for us. So let me just bring in the right tab. I had it just now, Michael Saylor. And he basically warned that, legacy money, they're going to look at BTC, and the SEC is going to flag all the others as securities and it's just going to add more red tape for investor legacy money to enter onto these coins. And that's fine. I don't care much for that, but it's something to take note of. Okay, so if we head back to our altcoins, it means that this could potentially mean that these coins are going to grind a little bit sideways, because money is still going to find Bitcoin more attractive for the short time being. We also know this to be true when we look at the larger time frame of Bitcoin's price action. Now, if I can find my chart, I hid it from myself. There it is. We also know that alt season only really happens once Bitcoin passed its previous all-time high and its halving, which I've marked out with these two lines. And it's normally some time afterwards before it really gets crazy. We also know that within this time, after halving and all-time high fights, okay, this is when Solana, Axie Infinity, the big players of the previous cycle got launched. It was in this moment. So it means that you need to have cash at hand, dry powder. You can't be 100% in, because somewhere along the line, there's still going to be an amazing pump coming our way. So you need to be prepared, and you need to be agile enough to wait for such a pump. Okay. So before we take this then further, and I want to show you these alts, these buys, and these pumps, I've given you a bit of a technical mindset idea of how I see these things. So now let's bring in MC, because she's got a stronger mindset narrative around this and how you should navigate this. Hi, MC. How are you doing today?
Hey, Rudo. Well, and you?
Awesome, awesome, awesome.
Excellent.
So Monday mindset shift.
Exactly. And that's just to give everyone a different perspective on what is going on, especially with it being a brand new week. So the one thing that I wanted to chat about today was the law of relativity. And this really is so great in terms of looking at the markets. Because number one, if you zoom out is when you are able to see the law of relativity at its best. This is in your own life as well as in the charts. And it really is about your skills, your ability, and your knowledge. And that is going to be different for each and every single one of you. So the law of action is when you know better, you be and do better. And with every trade you take, with every loss, with every profit, you are learning something more about yourself and your emotions in the cycles, whether it's bull cycle or bear cycle or whatever it is. And knowing thyself is always going to be what I'm going to remind everyone. So know what your game plan is. What is it that you're in trading for? What are you wanting to get out of each and every single change? Because that's relative. Your outcome is not going to be the same as anyone else's. And that's another thing. Please don't compare your knowledge to Rudo's knowledge. It is different. You can definitely utilize Rudo's knowledge, but really just start getting a sense of all the knowledge you know and start putting your own unique style into action. And that's important for traders. Just absorb what you can, take what resonates, leave the rest, and start playing with your flair on your own trades. You might surprise yourself because you're not trying to actually get it right or wrong according to your mentors or the people that you really admire. So that's my take for this week's mindset shift. I was going to say Wednesday, but it is definitely a mindset shift Monday for the week ahead.
So I'm going to say to you as well what I said in the Discord. ℍ𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒𝕒. So basically what that means is, well said, give that man a bells, You've hit the nail on the head. Everybody's got a different starting position. Everybody's going to have a different ending position. And when I do these charts, it's sometimes really hard for somebody that's not taken a journey with me to be on the same page, because your starting point might be so far from where we're at. Meaning you might have bought there and you've held all the way and you stumbled onto our YouTube video. And now anything I'm saying about being excited means
there's no excitement
nothing to you, because relative to where you started, this has just been a sucky 3 months. And it's important to just shed that when we look at these coins, so that you
find
can
something else to get excited about.
That's it. Don't sit on a sinking ship and allow a rocket to pass you by. Craig taught me that.
Yes.
And that's true because you end up doubling down on your loss. I made a mistake. Now I need to hold on to my losing trade because I was an idiot. And let it go. Let it go and be okay with that, because as soon as you do, you open the world to new possibilities.
Exactly.
MC.
And on that one, Rudo, most people, when they
Yeah.
do eventually sell, because they're like, oh, I'm getting out now. And as they sell, the rocket ship goes off. And they're like, but I was on the rocket ship.
And
So,
that brings us to this section. And this is why it's so important. Understand this. Money flows. It enters the market, crypto in its entirety at this moment still, through Bitcoin. New adoption is still happening. So as long as that is still happening, saying to anybody that tells you this time it's different, no, makes sense, because as long as there's new people entering the space, they're coming with the same beginner's educational level as you had previous cycle and those that had the cycle before. So it is, so much as things are different and these alts look different, they are the same for that reason. And that's also why once Bitcoin reaches a certain point of success, monies can start trickling down into the smaller coins. Why? I've made a killing here and I've seen all the memes pump and everything else. Now let's maybe take some of this profit and go chuck it in there. And that's when the market cap shifts. And that's why Bitcoin tops are normally so anticlimactic. Why? If you look at this chart, simple as this, MC. When we reach these tops, double top there, 70,000, close to 70,000, you know, people were saying, and alts were pumping. So it hides the fact that that was the top for BTC. And then it starts selling off, and then Bitcoin just sucks the liquidity out of everything because people are running back to the stable, safer one. And then that one dumps on them as well, because the alts had a massive take profit cycle within that. It happened there, it happened there. And that's why the dominance sells off so aggressively, because money is leaving those, money is leaving Bitcoin. And as soon as we reach that top, money starts flooding back just to ride it down with BTC in any case. So it's important that when you sell, when we eventually sell, the best trade then to be in is to be in stable. It's not sell to buy back tomorrow. Some of you guys made that mistake. It's sell and come back later on. I almost want to say, and I don't want to make a claim, and because I like doing YouTube with you guys, but I might just sell and not come back for 2 years. Let this thing dump and then start it again. Say, now's the time to buy. I don't know.
And everyone just had a heart attack. Everyone's like, don't go. The best is yet to come.
You never know. You never know.
Except that's all again relative. I mean, because everyone's journey is going to be different. So if someone goes, hey, I'm going to cash out, I've made my bit, I'm finding something else, that's relative too.
And I think the relativity, just to give a little bit of relativity guide before we look at the rest of the alts, I see more people joining. There's about 400 people at the moment live. Give us a like, give us a subscribe there. It's simple. Take what you have today. Only put 1 0 behind it and say to yourself, if I reach that number, you can use whatever power word you want, out. Simple. Because the reality is you'll probably be able to put 2 zeros behind that if you're in the right pair of coins. But at that stage, the relativity, the way you're going to look at that money, it's almost not going to be good enough once it's doubled again and doubled again when it gets back to that point. And that's why people hold all the way down 99%, 98%. Because what was good then is no longer good because I knew what I had. And we want to try and guard against that. But okay, this has been really mindset-y. I don't know. This is a heavy mindset Monday. Let us know in the comments what you think about these mindsets sessions. Send us some notes. Me and MC, we will read through them. And if there's something you're struggling with as well, let us know so we can comment and tailor some of the content around that for you guys as well. You, in the end of the day, that's why we're doing this for. So yeah. MC, closing remark.
Oh gosh, you always catch me by surprise with these ones. I'm still going to follow your keep it simple and also know the end goal. that is definitely in terms of the law of relativity. Is like, just know what your end goal is. Just like you said, in terms of what's the amount that you're happy with to actually get out. And it is a little bit like a gambler at a casino. Know when you're willing to call it and walk away happy, walk away with money, and that was an amazing journey, and what's next, instead of leaving wrecked and miserable and not happy.
Yes. And don't hold the bloody coins back down the dip.
Yes, definitely.
Get the profit. Thanks so much, MC.
Thank you so much,
appreciate
Rudo.
you taking the time. There you have it, guys. The absurd is saying, the moment the markets are frustrating me, I go mushroom hunting.
Oh, brilliant. Nature, best place to be. You'll get much more clarity.
Get that balance. Well done, Observe.
Yeah.
MC, thanks for taking the time.
Thanks so much, Rudo. Thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Cheers. Okay, right. So let's continue on. Now it's time to look at the alts, 25 minutes in. And I'm going to quickly just read through some of your comments. I see Peter has highlighted some of the comments for me. I see Mr. Damon is in the house. Hello, Damon. Guys, Charlie 3, you got to have some. You got to have some. And they just launched on, what's the name? Come on in the comments, let me know where the exchange they just launched on, centralized exchange, Coinex. I'm going to say the wrong thing. I'm just going to keep it quiet. Go and check my Twitter feed. I tweeted it out. Go get some Charlie 3. This is a chain link for everything else. There's a lot that's going to happen there. And we actually should have him on stream again, because there's a few updates I think we need to share with you guys regarding Charlie 3. But there's the chart. Strong bullish divergence on strong bullish divergence. So if there's a hot little number, my target for this one is at least there, minimum. And the hopeful is we go and break previous all-time highs. Now, it's really hopeful. And then there's a lot of multipliers coming our way. Let's be conservative. There's a 1,800% for you, if ever there was one. Simple and easy. Let's see what else we've got on the stream. Sound like I'm about to quit before. No, I'll quit after the pump. Sean saying, this is a fair question. Spot holding right now, best? Yes. So what you want to do is, when the market is turning trends like this is the time to take spot on, not necessarily leverage, because leverage is going to hurt you. Because if you're wrong by, say you're wrong by a few $100 on BTC, you stopped out, you just lost money. But spot, you still own one BTC. You need to kind of balance that. That's why portfolio, when we look at these alts, needs to be balanced. There's Bitcoin, there's alt spots, there's leverage money, leverage capital. You need to have that broken up into various categories, just to make sure that you don't end up on the wrong side of things. Okay, so now let's quickly see. Let's quickly go and have a look at your alts. Send some more in if there's anything that you've seen that's not been announced yet. And I'm going to start going through a few. So let's start off with, and let me scroll up. Let's see. Let's start off with 3PU. Okay, so this was the buy that was shared with you guys. Now, the problem that I have with 3PU at the moment is everybody should be sitting in some really good profit. You're up at least, wrong button. You're up at least. What's wrong with this thing? Oh, I'm telling you, they probably updated something again. It was this morning, even when I started measuring, I was thinking, well, why is the stuff not there? So you're up at least 12% on this one. And it's still a far cry from where we want to try and trade this thing towards. I mean, 2,000% previous all-time high minimum. So there's a lot of gains to be had there. Now is a really good time to consider any dips if it moves back into this buy zone. Because what you will find is, if price goes below this point, RSI is really high and looking strong. So you'll probably have hidden bullish divergence again, which continues on with this trend that we've got here. So look, today I've got like trading view dyslexia. I'm struggling to seem to bloody use the platform. So please excuse me if it looks like it's my first day of using TradingView. But that is definitely something worth noting. So I'm happy with this. This is a spot hold. This is a spot trade, and you can get it on Bybit. Okay. What we can also have a look at is, let's go to the next one, Solana. Now, Solana for me is a really bullish at the moment, to be honest. Let's quickly load this. Buy zone, 50% of the wick. I can draw it out. This is actually the market tactics side. So let's get to the YouTube, what you had. This is the chart that I gave you guys. Went there, gave you guys the wick, gave you the buy zone. And at the moment, this thing is flying. Let's see if this time, now I'm getting percents back. Okay, so 22% up on your Solana. So now you're looking good. The problem that you should be worried with is this. There's a high, and you need to make sure that Solana does make a higher high. Now, how the hell are you going to make sure? You're going to put an alert on this line. And if Solana makes a higher high within the next day or so, next week, I'm not going to sell any Solana. This is the Solana I'm going to hold for long term. But if we start falling back under these levels, you can see there, that support resistance. If you start falling back in there, the chance is good that this hidden bearish divergence that's currently in play is going to push price right back to our buy zone. Then I can use this as a farming opportunity to maybe sell some, buy 10% more at that price point, and vice versa. And the same play is probably going to happen for a lot of the alts, because Bitcoin's got this hidden bullish, bearish divergence. Ethereum has it. Let's go to the daily time frame. No, Ethereum doesn't have it. What am I thinking? Sorry, guys. Bitcoin has it. Solana has it. Ethereum doesn't have it. AVAX has basically just almost deleted its version of it. Bitcoin Cash is so far out of play. We're still waiting for the buy zone. So keep an eye out. Any more upside? You can see there's the high. There's where price is at. Any more upside towards that red line there, let's move it in there, 521. That RSI is going to move past. So you're going to have hidden bearish divergence. Now, why do I say this? I'm just said moon. Well, simple. Hidden bearish divergence is the strongest form of divergence there. It's the strongest sentiment tester. That's why we sold there. And look at what we got discount-wise. So we've got that same scenario on BTC as well. So as this candle is not closed yet, it's speculative. So you just need to keep that in mind. It's speculative. So tomorrow we'll be back, and we're going to be here the whole week to try and make sure that we can know whether it's locked in, because the way it's at now is a blessing if Bitcoin doesn't go any higher. You don't want today to close. If today closes bullish, it needs to close above 67,000, or else it's going to be seen as a bearish signal, and people are going to want to short this. Okay, simple as that. Okay, let's go on to the next altcoins. Let's see what else did you guys have a look at. Phantom is also a big one. A lot of requests on Phantom. So Phantom's in the buy zone. You can see the RSI is creeping past those highs. So Phantom is running the exact same risk. So you've got some work to do. You've got some risk to check out. Probably, and this is now me talking from a trader point of view, the highest probability is that Phantom's going to want to go to at least 88. So if the bullish narrative holds, and I think it will, that's my opinion, leave it at that, not financial advice, you're going to have a scenario where this is going to at least go there to finish up this correction, and maybe then we sweep again just to screw with everybody else. Why? Because remember, when we look at this big picture, it's this one, sorry. It takes some time before the market really gives us an alt season. We're only 1 month after the halving now. Every other time when the alt season really happens, you're at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 months statistically tells you that we're going to be choppy. So don't celebrate. This is clickbait, probably, if you really want to think about it. If you clicked on the tile moon thinking it's moon time, I apologize. Probably more clickbait than anything else. But just make note of that. Okay. So there you have it. So let's see what the market does. Let's see what else we've got here. Then there is, I'm going to just scroll back up from Marxy. Curve failed miserably. The original buy. Look, we got Curve in. For those that have now, from a relative point of view, taken the Curve journey with us. We bought Curve there we bought curves there with a continuation of the bullish momentum. So the argument was that this is going to do really big things and it's going to start pushing up to our TP1, which was $1.06. And then curve fell right back in. I gave you guys this buy zone on the basis that, okay, so we were wrong. So it's going to make a lower low and it's going to give us strong bullish divergence. And I did the calculation to the most probable area for the strong bullish divergence will be within the zone. And yes, if it falls below that, then it's dead. So we did that and we got that call nicely. So after that wick, I explained to you guys, any and all the alts, what you can do is just hit that 50% of the fib, and that's your buyback zone. So where you are relative to this story now is, it's going to be unique to some of you guys. But what it's doing now is the same thing now. The market feels greedy today. Everybody's kind of like, oh, you see, I should have just held. I'm okay. It's all right. And it's that overconfidence. We were bearish and immediately felt, we were fearful and immediately felt greedy. It means that the market's going to use this in the same way that it did with all the others and probably punish those guys because that hidden bearish divergence that's potentially can get locked in, then first needs to play out before these things really move. So celebrate the success, celebrate the gains, but also use this opportunity to take some profit because it just looks like there's going to be another little bit of a test there. Okay. AVAX, we've looked at AVAX, same story. Wick, in the wick, you've got that same problem. We're running into hidden bearish divergence. I might be back tomorrow and we might have a big blue candle that looks like that. I'm not saying sell at the moment. The divergence is not locked in. Let 10 hours. Wait until tomorrow morning at least. But then from that point onwards, we will be able to make an informed decision of what's the story. Most probably all these coins would go there, which means deletes the divergence. And this cautionary tale that I'm telling you means absolutely nothing. And I could have just kept it to myself. But it's, you know me, I try and give you guys the teach a man to fish moment as opposed to just give you a couple of fish and then let you go on your way. Okay. Now, there's a question here from Jockey. Does Phantom resemble the Solana chart? So let's just have a look at the Solana real quick. Solana, trend down, sideways, boom, 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 nice. Let's have a look at your Phantom chart. Let's see if there's the same things in there. Sideways, yes, simple as that. Most of the alts are going to do that because of this, the way that money flows through them. So they're all going to go through the same emotional cycle. So they're going to function in a similar way. Okay. Let's see what else we have. MINA from 𝕄𝕒𝕣𝕚. So we can maybe have a look at MINA from 𝕄𝕒𝕚. Let's quickly see. MINA. What's the time there? 38 minutes. Let's quickly have a look. Same thing. You can see that this RSI is already trying to beat these highs. Price hasn't. So it's functioning in a similar way there. This one didn't go down there. So you can still potentially have a buy order sitting around 66 for this one. Okay. ATOR. We looked at this last week, didn't we? Dipping. Can you please help? Okay, so we looked at this last week and I explained to you guys that this is the area where the bounce is going to be. So dipping in the sense that it's created what? Hidden bearish divergence. It's supposed to dip. From there to there, price has not made a higher high. Let's delete the previous squibbles now. Okay. Price have not made a higher high, but the RSI has. So it tells you that there's more bears entering the market. Now, as far as that goes, that's so small, maybe that's something to take, to ignore. But you can at least expect price to go and visit this demand zone. At least expect that that's going to happen. Okay. Let's see. Vitaly says, CRED. Let's have a look at CRED on KuCoin. Right, so this was the same analysis, same play, and any more success is going to run itself into hidden bearish divergence. So guys, you're going to have a second opportunity for those that missed the dip or felt uncomfortable or maybe held. Look at this as a scenario to get out because the alts are probably going to go through their own bear market while Bitcoin is still just going to hover in this lateral range. And Bitcoin can go all the way back down to the buy zone and then pump, but the alt dumps another 23%. I've seen this happen. It's going to make the way that you look at the market and the way we look at the market completely different because of that. Okay. And that all still fits. That whole narrative still fits within this big picture play. That bull market top's only going to be around November 2025. Okay, there you go. New narratives. What we should be and will probably be doing is starting to incorporate some narrative coins where we're going to be hunting a specific narrative. I've built some charts. I'm not done with them. That I did the last time round. I used them to hunt for narratives and narrative moves. So let me just quickly load a few there. Now, the narrative's obviously going to change, some of them. So this is smart contracts. So I'm going to use the same formula. It's very simple. You can do it yourself. I'm going to show you how. I'm not trying to be a genius here. You take the coin, times it by, and you just add in all the coins within that category. And then it gives you a chart of all those coins and their performance. So you can easily identify them. And what we want to do is you can see that they're all running in on lows. So if I now start bringing in the RSI, simple RSI, I don't need to be tricky about this. Telling you today, it's me and we can hit this on the weekly time frame. You can see some of these are not quite done yet. Just supports the fact that the alts will probably need to get another swing in before things are going to turn. Not massive, guys. Not massive. That thing goes a little bit lower there, and the RSI stays there. We're going to be golden. Okay. So I'm going to start getting those charts out to you guys so we can start hunting for these different categories because up until now it was Bitcoin season. We're probably at that precipice where it's going to start flipping over. And it's time for us to take note, time to take a completely different strategy to the way we go about our things. Okay. Do I believe in full moon and new moon cycles? I think we can. Garth, yes. Because I believe in Fibonacci. So if you believe in full moons and new moons, you need to believe in Fibonacci. You need to believe in time fibs. You need to believe in all those things. Because realistically, those things make sense. Astronomy, or what's it? Astrology. Astrology is stars. Astronomy is it's like your star signs. Maybe I've got them the wrong way around. Excuse me. Yet again, English is not my native language. And the thing behind that is that those things are so vaguely accurate that people think about it. And that's what fibs is in the end of the day. They're vaguely accurate enough so you can use them for that. So moon cycles do play a role. Simple as that. But you're going to find that they line up with other confluential things in the psychology of human beings as well. Okay. Is the CME gap filled? No. The CME gap isn't filled. CME gap needs to be filled. And for that to happen, we probably need to dip a little bit lower. Okay. So can I give you a major micro cap? Thing is done 7x now back at no original price because of some FUD. Coin name is ZKHIVE, like SAMU by the FUD. Let's have a look at this. Let's see what Yuto has. Maybe he's got something interesting for us to share. ZKHIVE. This is only going to be on Ethereum, so I hope that this thing just gives us a good chart. So one thing that you need to know, this is now wrapped Ethereum fib level, bottom top. Okay, and go settings, 0.886. Okay, if we lose that range, it's bad. Now you've got a pivot there. You don't have any divergence, and this thing's probably still going to dump down a little bit lower. So this is like that Titan. I think it's just it's not ready yet. So it will probably fight its way through. Wicks like those, because price action is like this, tends to get filled and some, so potentially will fall a little bit lower. before you'll find a flaw on this one. Okay. Let's see, based on AI, yes, AI is really a really big narrative that we need to be looking at. And ICP, let's have a look at ICP. I did some charts on it last week, and I think that it warrants an update. Where is my ICP? Well, 45 minutes in, we need to get finished. ICP, let's quickly see ICP. Let's just use that one. Let's quickly have a look. Okay. Weekly time frame, big picture. Switch on the line. You can see it's still fighting bullish. Hidden bullish divergence, still bullish. But it's got bearish divergence, and that, let's just take all this away again, means that price is bullish as long as it stays above those levels. So let's switch to a daily time frame, bring back the candles, and you can see that price is trying to fight to stay above that thou shalt not cross line. Okay, so ICP has got a job to do for us, because it needs to stay above that level. The fact that we're selling closing below means that you're going to probably need to look for some sort of a strong bullish divergence, because this bearish trend is strong. So yes, it can probably trick you and close a candle right there and then go back in. So for me, the way that I'm going to look at this is I'm not getting a TA here that suits any of my buying. So there might be a long, it might be a big pump, but if I can't define clean enough risk, I just skip on it. And the risk for me at this stage is that this demand that's sitting right here, there's not even strong bullish divergence there. I'm just playing off the larger time frame hidden bullish divergence. Means that there's a demand zone sitting right there. Okay. And I don't want to see price go below that. That's as simple as that. So anywhere between where it's at now in there is going to be a really good buy. As simple as that. There, Peter is telling me, get the fuck off. Guys, you know what to do. I would love to spend more time. That's why we have the Discord. All you need to do, just a little reminder, go get the free trial. Come join me in the mornings. We dedicate the streams. You can ask questions. We can chart them. And we can go through more. We can do more. Okay. That's it. That's the whole thing. So you have a lovely week. I'll keep you guys posted on Twitter. Make sure to go follow whatever is happening on these charts with some of my thoughts and so forth and so forth. And that's it. You have a lovely week. Enjoy it. Chat later and keep hustling, my friends.
I'll keep hustling.
Subscribe now.